starting in 5, boom. Yes, hey, what's up everybody, welcome to another video, and in this video we are talking about this. What is this, you ask? Well, this is a dedicated hardware for Wi-Fi DeAuther project, and if you don't know what a Wi-Fi deauthorization is, it's kicking people off your Wi-Fi network or playing around with them by spoofing a lot of different Wi-Fi routers of same name, and this device can do that. Take it like this, it can be a small toy to play and prank your friend, or it can be an AK-47 to your hacker arsenal. So before going deep down to this product, I wanted to share that this is not a regular drone video which I've been doing for quite some time on this channel. This is more focused towards the maker community or DIY electronics or DIY hardware in general. I posted this video about my top 5 stores where you can buy DIY electronics components, and you guys like it a lot, requested me to make more such videos, so here it is. So every month I spend a part of my earnings to buy new DIY electronics components, and these are generally open source hardware running open source software. I do this to get my hands on latest technology and to support the developers for making it possible. This board I bought it from Tindy, which is a marketplace for makers where they can sell their projects. More about Tindy in some later video, but this is running an open source firmware by Space Hunt, and this is a great piece of technology which is exploiting a vulnerability in 802.11 or Wi-Fi. So I bought it around 8 months back, and I really like this hardware. I like to keep it in my bag, and that's why I wanted to share it with you. Maybe you like it and also want to buy it and support the developers, both hardware and software, for the work they are doing. So I'll show you everything on this board and how it works, and for that let's move to the disk. Alright, so we are on the desk and let's start with the demo, and let me show you the hardware itself, and here it is. So this is the actual hardware, the Wi-Fi DeAuth board itself. As you can see, it's quite neat and tidy. So let me show everything going on over here. This is the brain of the entire board, the ESP8266 chip, which it is based around. If you have an ESP8266 board already, you do not have to buy this hardware. You can just flash the open source firmware on it and you can get all the functionality from it. And I'll link down the firmware Github repo for your reference down below. This is a nice display. It's an SD1306 based I think I2C display, and it's quite bright and informative, as you can see. So this tells you the current status, and you can use buttons for different actions. And talking about buttons, there are 4 buttons. 2 on this side to navigate up and down, 1 over here to select the functionality, and 1 over here to power it on and off, and you can press it once to know the battery life. So it is showing 3 battery signals over here, and yes, it runs on a battery. So this is a battery over here, which is a lithium ion or lithium polymer based cell, which is 18650 cell, which makes it quite portable to have. And since it is having a cell over here, it also provides charging circuitry over here, as you can see, and it charges over the USB. So you can power it on the USB, and you can also charge over the USB. So that's all simple thing going on over here: an ESP board, a display, a charging circuitry, and a lithium polymer cell. You can also see that there are breakout pins of ESP board over here, so you can use it for your different project by customizing the firmware, or by flashing your custom firmware. You can take use of this display to do different kinds of things, and this is really good, and this is really a good flexibility developer has provided. You can program it over the USB as well, so it's a pretty neat thing to have. And that is all about the hardware. Talking about the function, as you can see, there is a Wi-Fi on, scan, start DeAuth, and start beacon thread, and we will go all over them in a bit. I also like to point it out that this ESP board supports external antennas. You can see here the UFL connector. So this board does come with an external antenna. I guess it's a 5 dBi one, which gives you a lot of range. But I'm not using it right now because this demo doesn't require any. Also a disclaimer: try not to use this device for destructive purposes like disconnecting everyone in a Starbucks or a co-working space. That's not good. I mainly use it for my penetration testing projects or pranking my friends. That's it. So before using this device on any network, make sure you have access rights to it and no one is getting harm from it. I do not take any responsibility if you make any harm with it. So on that note, let me show you how this works. Alright, so here are the 2 devices for the demo. One is the iPhone 6 and one is the MacBook Pro. As you can see, both are connected to my home network, which is a TP-Link router. And here I'm using this Wi-Fi DeAuther to have a beacon flood attack. And what a beacon flood attack does is it creates a lot of different hotspots of same name. So anyone who wants to connect to a router will get confused. So let me show how this works in practice. So I'll switch on the Wi-Fi on this device, and once the Wi-Fi is on, I'll scan for the routers nearby. So it's scanning right now, and yes, this shows my TP-Link router. So I have to select it first over here. So I'll select it, then I can choose what attacks I want to do. So I can do a DeAuth attack, or I can do a beacon flood attack. So for this demo, I'll be doing a beacon flood attack, and this blue light turns on, which means the beacon flood attack is going on. So let's see on this mobile. Okay, so you can see it has created a lot of different Wi-Fi routers with the name TP-Link C5F6, on which we are doing a beacon flood attack. And you can see the list cause zone, and I guess it creates two different hotspots of same name every second. So it will really confuse the people who want to connect to this network, and that is a beacon flood attack. And same can be seen on my laptop screen. So you can see a lot of different TP-Link devices, TP-Link. So that is beacon flood, and once I turn the beacon flood off, stop beacon flood, the blue light goes off, and it will take some time to be normal. But yeah, they are disappearing. So that was the beacon flood attack, and for the next attack, that is the DeAuth attack, I want to focus on this TP-Link router. As you can see, this phone is connected to TP-Link router as of now, and it's also able to browse the internet, and we can check that by going to, let's say, google.com. And yes, the internet is working, it confirms. But once the deauthorization attacks is active, this should disconnect to the device and no internet functionality will work on. So it's a deauthorization, and I'll explain in a bit how it works. So first let me select the router again, and this time let me start the deauthorization attack. So I started the deauthorization attack, and yeah, as you can see, as soon as the attack started, this TP-Link router got disconnected automatically. It will try to connect it again because it's a known network, but as long as the deauthorization attack is on place, it cannot connect again. So once the DeAuth attack is in place, it cannot also access the internet since it's not connected to any network. And same goes for my laptop. As you can see, it's trying to connect to a Wi-Fi, but it cannot. So that is the deauthorization attack, and once I stop the deauthorization attack, it can connect to the network again, I believe. Yes, so it's able to connect it back. So that's how deauthorization attack work. And what basically is deauthorization attack is so Wi-Fi works on IEEE standard, that is 802.11, and the standard defines a safer way to disconnect the devices. So anytime a device wants to disconnect to a network, it sends a deauthorization packet which safely disconnects it. So deauthorization packet is meant to a MAC ID, which is the MAC ID of the router. So if you know the router MAC ID, you can easily simulate the deauthorization attack as done by this device over here. And every router broadcasts the MAC ID, so it's very easy to have a MAC ID in place and do some deauthorization attack. So you do not need a dedicated hardware for this attack. You can also do it with your Linux machine. There are different tools to simulate deauthorization attack. You can also do with a Node MCU or any ESP8266 based board. I'll link it down below. There are a lot of different videos on internet floating around on how you can make your own deauthorization Wi-Fi hardware. But I like to support the developer, so I bought this one, and it really helps them, it really motivates them to make more such hardware and software. So it's a nice thing to do, and I also like to keep collecting these gadgets. So that's the deauthorization in a nutshell. So you must be wondering by now, this is a huge vulnerability, why there is no fix yet, and if people knows about this, why the Wi-Fi interest group is not fixing it. So basically Wi-Fi interest group does provided the fix quite a long time back. The fix has been provided in Wi-Fi 802.11w based implementations, and to make the fix work, both the device end and the router end needs to be patched. So this fix needs to be integrated on both the router as well as on your devices. So these device and router manufacturers are generally ignoring it and not patching it with this fix. So that is the reason it's still in place. So this deauthorization attack has worked for me for almost every router and device I have tested on, except a Cisco router, so I have to give it to them. Otherwise it's quite a neat attack. It works, and you can use it to prank your friends or have a vulnerability test of your device. So if you want to protect yourself from this attack, make sure to have updated firmware on both your router and devices, and if the manufacturer has not provided the fix for this vulnerability, it's time to change the device. So I hope you enjoyed it. Moving back. So that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you do, just comment it down below, like it, share it with your friends, and let me know if you want to see more of such videos, and I'll keep making them. Don't forget to support open source in any way possible, and on this note, I'll see you in the next one.